All right. What is up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. I'm just going to have a bit of a test through to see if everything's all good to go. And does seem pretty well. I'm going to have a look at the chat on my laptop screen whilst the phone is up here on top of the laptop. So anyways, welcome back to another live stream. And this is just going to be like the other ones, where I want to interact and share with you what I've been up to, and as well as to communicate. So just like the previous updates, I am going to be showing you which albums I have been purchasing, and to chill. I was originally going to be doing an update video from last month, but I was incredibly busy and didn't have the time. So I just decided to do this stream for the stuff that I purchased from last month to the end of this month. I was going to be doing this on Sunday, but not Saturday because I am gigging with the band Hard Graft. So anyways, this is it, to do another one of these things that I love to do for my channel. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for coming in and just to, hang out with me. I haven't purchased a lot of albums because, being very busy is what's been like a big focus in my mind. And later on, I'm going to be restringing a few guitars because every gig is important, and I have to get myself to be, in a professional mindset to get myself gig ready. Well, I picked up a few records and a few CDs, a few new albums on both CD and vinyl. So let's go through the CDs first. The first one is Black Sabbath's Master of Reality. It does have the embossed look to it, so you can see it. I decided to buy this particular version because I think it does suit well with the other digipack versions, although this is on a jewel case. This is from 2004 through Sanctuary Records, and this is always one of my favorite Sabbath albums, and I just thought, why not just pick this one up? And excuse me, speaking of Sabbath again, I have also picked up Live Evil. This is the deluxe edition. I'm at this mood that I want to buy more of these deluxe editions of different albums. I have a few. Also, I am going to be picking up the Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules deluxe editions that are coming out as well. I have the single disc dual case version of this, and it's been a while since I've last listened to Live Evil. The Dio period of Sabbath is fantastic. This is not my favorite live album from Black Sabbath. My favorite live album from this band was the live album that was added on the Sabotage Super Deluxe box set. That is, to me, Sabbath at their angriest and the best sounds to hear the bass, drums, and guitar in this mad mix. Anyway, that's Live Evil. The next one on CD, I have a bit of a story for this one. Strapping Young Lad, The New Black, the band's final album. And this is actually the second time that I did purchase this one, because the other one that I have is, excuse me, is the digipack version, which does look pretty used. It's not in the best of shapes. This does contain 2 bonus tracks. But I bought this from Music Magpie on eBay. and everything was going really well. But annoyingly, on the later tracks, the disc has decided to skip multiple times, and it ruined the listening experience for me. I did not show this until now, because I had bought this a few months back. I was that pissed off that I didn't want to show you guys this at the time I bought it. So I'm not buying anything from Music Magpie ever again. So I went to this, and this played beautifully. By the way, this is one of my favourite Strapping Young Lad albums. It was originally one of my least favourites, but there are some songs on this that I love. Decimator to Almost Again, obviously the highlight on the album, and the two tracks, Polyphony and The New Black together. Far Beyond Metal is great. That track, by the way, was written around the time when Strapping Young Lad was making the City album. Wrong Side is great. Monument. I can see why some people regard this as like not one of their best, because there are some songs that I'm not like so crazy about, but I think that this is probably my third favorite Strapping album. Yeah, I love a lot of this album still. Zach, apologies I kept you waiting for my response. How are you doing? And Mindful28, formerly known as Be Mindful and Wise. Nice to see Strapping Young Lads, The New Black in this update. Yeah, I had to purchase this dual case version because, you know, I couldn't cope with the other digipack version. New albums wise, and a few other stuff in between. I've been tidying my bedroom, by the way, because I've been so annoyed with all the mess of random CDs everywhere, and I had to place them, you know, in various shelves, and just to tidy the room, stack a lot of my records away, get rid of the cellophane from the records that have been wrapped. Anyway, Black Country New Road with Ants From Up There. This was an album that I did not expect to really like, and it was critically acclaimed. Never heard of this band before, and the hype and the mad reception of this album was massive. I'm really glad that I did pick this up, because this is an experience. Black Country New Road are a rock band, but this record takes you to a journey. It's got really poetic, descriptive lyrics and quite an emotional attachment. But there's a lot of great stuff on this album, and the band paces themselves very comfortably, and the music is beautiful, that it takes you to a different place. And, you know, no wonder this album has been known as one of the top albums of this year. I've only played this one once for now, but there are some amazing stuff on this album that I did not expect to really enjoy this. So Black Country New Road, Ants From Up There. Picked up Alter Bridge with Pawns and Kings. I am really, really glad that this album just blew my expectations away, because this is one of my favourite albums of 22. As I've done a review of this album not too long back. Still awesome. Loved a lot of the stuff on this album. What an introduction for me to get into the band. Actually, I've listened to Blackbird before this album's release, and I couldn't be any happier. So, Alter Bridge with, excuse me, Pawns and Kings. One of the other best metal albums of the year, Wormrot Hiss. This is an album that I also gave a very high review on. this is probably Wormrot at their best. And it's obliterating, it is unstoppable. It is quite experimental as well. Really glad that Wormrot have come a long way, because this Singapore-based grindcore band needs a lot of attention. I'm really glad that I did discover this band since about close to a decade. And, excuse me, this is probably the band at their best. Björk with Fossora, and I actually did purchase this before I did my album reaction on this album. Really great stuff. I think that this Björk record is probably her best album since Vespertine. I really like Biophilia, but besides the flaws, this one is another one that is emotional, but it's beautifully executed. And Björk has aged very well vocally as well. You know, much love to one of my favorite musicians of all time. Not a new album, but I decided to pick up one of Behemoth's earlier albums, Thelma 6, however you pronounce that. But I need to buy a lot of Behemoth's stuff, as they are one of my favorite extreme metal bands. Blackened death metal titans. This contains 4 bonus tracks, and this is a re-release through Peaceville Records. By the way, for those who are wondering what I thought of the new album, I don't like it very much. It's incredibly average. I won't say a lot, but I can see why that some people really don't appreciate the album as much. Oh, another new album that I did pick up. The new Brian Eno album, Forever and Nevermore, in this sleeve. Like you put records in these type of sleeves. This is a good album. Vocally heavy. Well, not like heavy, but it's got a ton of vocals on this album. Some of the instrumentation is really nice, but it's quite an experiment that I don't think is one of his best albums. This is the first album under his own name since Reflection 5 years prior to this album's release. It does have some nice ambient textures on this album, and it's a good experiment, but it's not one of my favorites of the year, and that's a little bit of a downer, because I am a huge fan of Brian Eno. I love a lot of this stuff, and you know, I'm really glad that Eno's still at it making music. Picked up another album, Thundercat, Drunk. Obviously not a new album, but I've heard really good things about this album. I have heard one of the tracks. Which one was it? Oh, for fuck's sake. Get in the hole! I know that's quite sexual, but it's my dialogue. Which one was it? Them Changes, that's it. And I really think Thundercat, as a bassist too, is fantastic. I have heard of him when he played with Kamasi Washington on the Epic. Brilliant, brilliant. I really, really admire his skill work as a musician, but I've not heard any of his stuff yet. So that's Drunk. And before I forget, since I said before I forget, picked up Slipknot's new album, The End So Far, and I've also purchased from eBay from a seller, which is totally unexpected. I also ordered the limited to 1,000 copies slipcase limited edition of The End So Far. You know, just with the sleeve and the number that I will look at from the 1,000 copies that have been made. Uh, and I tried to get one when it was happening, but it was sold out, so that annoyed me. So I had to stick to just purchase the regular CD. Then I just spotted the limited slipcase edition from a seller, as I've said, picked it up. So I'm waiting for that one to arrive. Add it to my Slipknot collection. So you know what my thoughts are about this album in my review. If you haven't checked it out, please do. A Blu-ray from a film that I always have heard great things about. I've listened to um, the soundtrack from the mid-70s, and it's amazing. And that is Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know this has Tim Curry in it, and I've heard that this was known as like one of the classics. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to check this one out. The music was great. The film, I've not seen it yet, hence that's why I bought it. Records wise, I am a bit of a hypocrite for this part because HMV, right, are selling these new Slipknot reissues of some of their earlier stuff. You know, Iowa, the debut, Volume 3 and All Hope Is Gone. And I wasn't going to buy any of them because of the price. Well, especially Volume 3 and All Hope Is Gone. And Iowa, really. But, yeah, I am a hypocrite that I just decided to buy one of them. And this is the thing that pisses me off, okay? I have bought the 2018 remix of Pink Floyd's Animals. That costed 20 quid. 20 quid. When it comes to reissues like this, they are selling them for £44.99. £45 for a reissue. No wonder people are saying very notorious comments about HMV's prices. This is ridiculous. Anyway, this is press to Violet Blue. I'm going to show you guys this right now. Comes with various pictures, you know, like when you see the artwork in booklets. Double album pressing as well. Here it is. I know it looks a bit pink-ish. Well, really pink. But it's violet blue for me. I think it's violet blue. But yeah, sounds great. And besides the surface noise, which I think I'll have to clean the records, because earlier today I've played the Who's Quadrophenia on vinyl and Magma from Gojira. Both of them went through some surface noise, and that did bother me. But anyways, gatefold sleeve, and here's the back. I'm not going to get the All Hope Is Gone one because of the price. Speaking of Slipknot, here is the end so far. And yes, I do have the sticker. And we know that this is a misprint because it says the end for now, which in my opinion is a very bland title. The end so far is acceptable and a better one. It's not only misprinted on the front, also at the spine. Hang on. Can't see that very well. And on the record. So, yeah, they shouldn't have called it the end for now. Could have just made their minds up. No offense. Awesome picture of the band. By the way, these are printed to different colors on vinyl. I have got the yellow pressing. Yeah, since that Slipknot's always my favorite band, this is not going to be added into my top 20. And I know that I have done my top 15 albums of last year, but I've listened to a ton. And I might as well just do a top 20 for this year. So there you go. That is, once again, the end so far. Picked up this one. This one's limited to 1,000 copies. I really don't see the number that I have of this. Earthless. This is not their new album. I've picked up Earthless's new album on CD though. This is one of their earlier albums called Rhythms from a Cosmic Sky, excuse me, which also contains a 7-inch of what's it called? What's the song? The single to actually I need to look this up. I do have the sticker to this. Shit, one sec, guys. I don't know if you have heard about Earthless yet, guys. Yeah, purple cherry red 7-inch. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. Very nice. I know it looks different colors, but I don't know. Anyway, haven't played the 7-inch, but the album did sound really, really good. Earthless are one of those bands that if you love very psychedelic, heavy, jamming instrumental stuff, then look no further than checking out Earthless. And this is a band that has Mario from Off on the drums. And speaking of Off, I need to listen to their new album that just come out. Here's this splatter. Looks really nice, doesn't it? Mindful28, I did see your comments and I'm going to respond to them after the records. So thank you for your patience. So there you go. That is Rhythms from a Cosmic Sky by Earthless and the HMV exclusive of Alter Bridges, Pawns and Kings. Picture of the band there. And here is the record, silver colored vinyl. There you have it, guys. That is what I've picked up from the past 2 months. Owen Ryan, how's it going? Apologies that I didn't say hi earlier on. Hope you're doing okay. Their new Alter Bridge album is amazing. Blackbird is my favorite album of theirs. Yes, I need to listen to Fortress and Alter Bridge 3 before I will say my views on them. Wormrot's Hiss is another good choice. Björk's Fossora is one of my favorites of the year. Yeah, it really is. And that is one of my top 20 of the year. However, Hiss by Wormrot is probably a potential to be put in my top 10. Ryan, Homogenic is my favorite Björk album. It makes me think of winter. My favorite Björk album is Post. And Björk is just such an original and wonderful musician. Thelma Point 6 is an underrated Behemoth album. I haven't listened to it yet, but I've heard good things on it. I have heard of The Satanist, obviously. Excuse me. I Loved You at Your Darkest. And the new album, Demigod. Homogenic is great, but my favourite Björk album is Post. That's cool. Slipknot's The End So Far is, I think, their best since Volume 3. I wouldn't go that far. Um, but that's a cool opinion. The end so far is not as strong as We Are Not Your Kind. And actually, I did revisit Point Five, the Grey chapter, and I have a changed opinion on this album. And um, yeah, let's just say this is probably my new least favorite Slipknot album. I will be doing my album ranking of Slipknot's discography after I will be doing my review for All Hope Is Gone with a special guest that I have been friends with for a long time, whom I will not reveal yet. I will reveal him when the video on my review for All Hope Is Gone will come to the channel. Ryan, been listening to a lot of The Cure's music. Disintegration is my favorite album from them. That's a really, really good one. I love a lot of it, actually. And I have been influenced heavily by that album in my own music. That is a really good and yet important thing, because you need inspiration of albums to bands to really guide you to wherever you want to go for your music. Björk is one of the greatest singers of all time. Her music words is inspirational to me. Yeah, I should have checked out Björk's music, you know, since a long while actually. But I did discover Björk. I would say, I think 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago, when the pandemic first began. Just like when I had discovered Devin Townsend and Strapping Young Lad. And I should have checked out Alter Bridge earlier as well, like I said in my review on Pawns and Kings. So anyways, sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked. But I am really happy with the music that always takes me into, a great place, a great setting, as that it's always been one of the most important things to keep the souls of us involved with what we like to listen to. And music is just always a specialty. So I am going to be thinking about streaming back on Twitch, but I have not done that for a few months. I am also going to be doing, a few random videos with the gear that I have, like some of my guitars to pedals. Excuse me, because I've been seeing a few comments that I should be doing something like this because of me being a full-time guitarist and musician, and that's something that I would like to do. Classic Albums Revisited will return, and I am going to be reviewing Freedom by Neil Young. And another album that I have been playing, actually, since a few times, that I always really liked, but I grew to love it, and that is The Queen is Dead by the Smiths. Yeah, and we know the news about the Queen not too long back. But yeah, this is The Queen is Dead. The title is just a saying. So I don't want any debacle of complaining about the album's title, whereas with this, came out in '86. Other bands I've been recently listened to are Depeche Mode, Nine Inch Nails, Joy Division, Bauhaus, My Bloody Valentine, Sushi and the Banshees, The Sisters of Mercy, Radiohead, etc. Those are some really good choices there. And I had been getting into Depeche Mode a couple of years back, actually. Nine Inch Nails is a great great group. I mean, Trent Reznor is a genius. Joy Division is great too, but I am more of a New Order fan. My Bloody Valentine is one of my favorite bands of all time. Really like Radiohead. I mean, I love Kid A. So, yeah. Billy Bishop, I am doing very, very well. I hope you are doing well too. White Tiger, hey guys, or one of them who's watching this. By the way, guys, since White Tiger is here in the stream, you should check out their debut album, This Is the Life. I'm giving them a shout out right now. I have done a review on it. Please give this band lots of more attention. If you love very fun, catchy, energetic, like 80s hard rock, heavy metal sounds, then do give White Tiger the attention. This Is the Life is their debut album, and give them a lot of love. And I just thought I would give them a shout out here because their new album, when I reviewed it, is one of my favorite albums of 22. So much love to the band. Are you looking forward to Dark Throne's new album? I have seen posts on Dark Throne's new album. Wait, isn't it coming out tomorrow? I will check it out, but I really don't think that I would be reviewing it because, you know, with some black metal albums, yes, it can sound very predictable, although some black metal albums can be quite different from each other. But Dark Throne's been one of those bands that's been one of my favourites, so I'm going to be checking that out. Well, that I have reviewed Eternal Hails when that came out last year. But yeah, I'll have a listen to it. I will have to say though, I won't go on so much onto this next bit. I will say that this year has been one of my favourites. And last year alone, we have heard so many great albums. But this time, I think there's a lot more variety into what's been released, genres wise to albums. And this year has got to be some of the most diverse ones as well. Devin Townsend's new album comes out tomorrow as well. Actually, it's not. Maybe it is, but due to a manufacturing error from the pre-orders, I think the album won't be out until November 4th. In terms of, I think, the physical copies of it. But I am so looking forward to check out Devin Townsend's new album because I briefly talked about his two albums, The Puzzle and Snuggles. Those are good albums, but I never really cited them as one of his best. I wouldn't cite them either as like one of the top best things he's ever done. Not like with Empath and other ones. I've revisited Ocean Machine recently, still a fucking great album. Possibly my second favourite Devin Townsend album. But my favourite is Terrier. I adore that album. Infinity is fantastic. Accelerated Evolution. You know, what more can you want from one of the greatest metal musicians ever? RJCJ Rock. Glad to see you made it to the stream. I thought you were going to see Iron Maiden. I did see your comment on my last video. Yeah, I responded to your comment because I don't want to pay 200 plus quid from Ticketmaster because that is absolute bollocks. And I tried to get the 60 price of the tickets. I would have wanted to have friends around with me to see them, but they've sold out. And I was annoyed because I've always wanted to see Iron fucking Maiden. Oh dear. But it is what it is. Yet alone, we have heard about the overprice of tickets on Bruce Springsteen. That was absolute stupidity. Oh yeah, you are seeing Maiden, but I'll have some time. I'm really glad to see you in, nonetheless. Um, Let me know how they went after their show. Do have a good time. Do have a good time. Ryan, how's your band getting on? We are doing absolutely well. We have a gig coming up this Saturday, and sorry, Facebook notifications. We've got some potentialism for working on more original songs, some new covers. So it's been a blast, and I couldn't be any more grateful and happier to be with people to, call them the closest people that I have ever been around with. Just like you guys, but I mean like in person. Um, so yeah. Um, Billy Bishop, Opeth has got a new drummer named uh, Walteri from Finland. He's just as great as Axe was when he was in Opeth. Um, Great. More power to Opeth for continuing on. As Opeth's been one of my favorite bands into the progressive metal side. Well, I really got to respect their prog rock side. Have you listened? Have you given Lamb of God's new album Omens a listen? I have not, not yet. Anyway, um, I think the momentum of Lamb of God's material from last album, they kind of lost it for me. I mean, it's not bad of a record, but it's just not one of those newer eras of Lamb of God that I would really stick my teeth into as much as the previous stuff. Sedition through Scorns. Greetings, strong Greg Boys 19. I have made it to the stream at last. Glad to see you once again, Jake. And hope you are doing very well yourself. I'm thinking about wrapping this live stream up at around, say, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock UK time. Because after stream, I am going to be restringing one of my... No, not one of mine. Both of my two guitars. Because I have to be... I said this earlier. I have to be, in the moment to really get things as organized as possible. And to always be in that very, productive mindset. But yeah, hope you guys are still looking after yourselves mentally, emotionally, and as well as physically. I will also be doing a video on my personal addressing of this year, just like what I did with last year, because last year was very difficult. I won't repeat myself here, because if you want to see that video, I explained it in bigger, deeper detail. But this year, let's just say that this year is an improvement. Some bands I've got into lately. Filter, never heard of them. Nine Inch Nails, and Bush, never heard of Bush at all. I don't think I've heard of that band whatsoever. Filter, not really familiar with them either. So, yeah. Filter are very good. Short Bus is my favorite album from them. What genre are they, Ryan? I don't know if they're rock or metal. I'm not really sure. I am also going to be doing some videos on discographies that are incomplete. I am going to be posting my re-reviews of With the Beatles and A Hard Day's Night, because I'm not really happy with their turnout. Although I would keep the um, intermission, well, not intermission, information part um, for those videos, as I will do the same for other albums. Then I'm going to be coming back to Genesis and review Nursery Crime, um, Megadeth as well. Filter was an industrial rock band. That sounds cool. Um, one sec. One sec. Sorry, guys, got a bit sidetracked. Um, yeah, I happen to like Bush too. Mostly the first three albums. They're alternative rock, in case you're wondering. Okay, I don't mind a bit of alternative rock. I mean, some of my favorite bands are in that genre. I'll check them out. Ryan, they are pretty much like Nine Inch Nails in a way of similar industrial rock style. However, they do have their own sound, uh, as opposed to being influenced by Nine Inch Nails. All right. Plus, Richard Patrick played with Nine Inch Nails before he formed his own band. That's cool. Excuse me. Zach Hurley, I did see your other comments, um, but he just says hi to everyone. So, you know, please interact with each other and always be be involved. Not only for me, but for uh, other people who have been tuning into this stream. Um, Close to 10 viewers, which I did not expect, but it has been absolutely great, because communication is key. And I know this because of experiencing and watching different music streamers on Twitch. Um, I will say that the internet has been really crazy with interaction pretty much since the pandemic, really. Um, oh, Nip, I was gonna read your comment, dude. Um, I don't know. I don't know if that was accidental. I was gonna read that. Um, but yeah. So this has been a massive thing when people decide to message and communicate with each other. And, it's such a great feeling with everyone that you don't know who are viewers, but people in reality, to be here for the love and the passion. And that is what I love to see, like right now in this chat and the previous few streams. Yeah, Nip from White Tiger. Um, what was it that you want to say? Uh, please address something. Um, Seeing other comments. Says hi to Zach. The X Factor is actually my favorite Maiden album. Guess I'm not the only one here. I love the X Factor, and I've mentioned about the X Factor way too many times earlier in my videos, to other live streams, but the X Factor is still an album that I do defend as one of the most underrated metal albums. I've been okay. I'm dealing with some horrible back pain for almost a month. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, man. But other than that, my website is now bought under a new ownership, but I am still a writer for the page. That is really good to hear, Jake. Oh, yeah, I got your comment. Rewrote it. No worries, man. I listened to Megadeth's new album because I love the single "We'll Be Back." It doesn't go anywhere, in my opinion. I was disappointed, and yeah, I rewrote it. I have not listened to the new album yet, either. So I need to catch up on Megadeth. I'm on to Risk and onwards now. Billy, I already have heard of Patient Number 9. I have reviewed it, and I do respect the acclaim and the positives of reviews that it got. I still feel the same way. I still defend my opinion on the album. I don't think it was one of his best at all. It's an album that I would like over Ordinary Man, but at the same time, it's a disappointment. And yeah, I've been called out that by comparing the new album to old stuff is unrealistic. You know, what's unrealistic? I don't understand that. You know, because Ozzy's stuff 99% of the time always just sounds like a lot of his stuff earlier on. And I know that he has done experimental different things, like Osmosis, for example, but his new stuff, to me, post No More Tears, is not as good. It's not as strong. Um, the internet was also great when it comes to independent artists such as myself who releases music onto Bandcamp. Excellent, that is true, Ryan. Yeah, RJ. I did respond to Billy's comment as well. These reviews, how's it going, man? I got to know you. Have you heard? Have you ever heard of the West Coast pop art experimental band? Um, what is it? These reviews. I got to know. Have you ever heard of the West Coast pop art experimental band? Is that the band West Coast? I'm not really sure. Mindful 28. Ozzy Osbourne's No More Tears is such a great album. I revisited that album a few months back, and it's still awesome. I even worked out in the gym listening to it with my Raycon earbuds. Um, Glad to see that you're good, Ryan. Listening to the new Slipknot album, waited a year for that album. Well, uh, yeah, I think we agree on that because the Chapeltown Rag came out almost a year before the End So Far's release. Um, been listening to The Cure a lot, Zach. That's great. Um, Thoughts on The Cure? They are possibly my favorite band. The Cure are a band that I always respected, but when I bought Disintegration on remastered vinyl, I really wanted to give them a go because I have always appreciated Robert Smith, and I am glad that I did that. As The Cure have always been a household name in that gothic rock, alternative rock kind of movement. Well, I didn't listen to any singles from it. Fair enough, Zach. So didn't get didn't get a taste from the album until 30th of September. Um, what do you think of it afterwards, Zach? These reviews, oh yeah, okay, they are called West Coast Pop Experimental Band. They've made some really great 60s psych. Sounds a bit like Early Mothers of Invention. That's intriguing to me already. They even did a cover of Help, I Am a Rock. Yeah, that sounds cool. Um, Speaking of psychedelic, I have also ordered Rosalie Cunningham's new album, and she's very inspired by the 60s and classic stuff like that. I also have her first album as well, so I'm going to be checking out her new record. I know that came out months back too, and I want to dive into that album at this point. Um, The Cure is one of my favorite bands. I'm so heavily inspired by their music lately. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Fireworks have been going off where I'm at lately. It's like some Indian celebration thing that's been going on. Fireworks are just such a fucking nuisance. These reviews also, if you had to play one Can song to someone who doesn't know anything about them, which song would you play? It really depends to me because Can is not a band for everybody. But I will think to shut the fuck up. Um, that's it, Nip. I don't want to devalue. Well, kind of cocked that up. Yeah, I will say for starters, possibly something from the Egibam Yassi album, maybe the single of Vitamin C or Pinch. Indian Christmas. That's it then. Uh, just looking at some of the comments, guys. Um, I think that We Are Not Your Kind is better, but I'm not disappointed. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I revisited We Are Not Your Kind after I've played The Grey Chapter. Still a crap album cover, in my opinion. And it sounds so much better. Production and writing wise. I've gotten about 20 albums prepared for my favorites of 22, and honestly, I think this year is so much better than 21. If I'm, excuse me, brutally honest. I agree. I go straight to Aum from Tagamago. That is not easy listening for many. It's very avant-garde. But Tagamago's my favorite Can album. My favorite krautrock album of all time too. That has been going on around where I live too. Okay. So I'm not the only one then. Slipknot is a band I've really grown to appreciate. Great. I'm really glad there are other bands that I've respected that I've become, a fan of. Have you listened to the new Exhumed album? If you're a fan of Carcass, you'll dig it. I have heard of Exhumed, not the new album yet, and I have not listened to the new Creator yet. Speaking of thrash, do you like the Shags? I think they are a band, while being so divided by many people, especially on their only album. I give the girls at that time a lot of the credit that they have tried their best. It's a different part of music history, and philosophy of the world is something to behold. Just like with Trout Mask Replica, Future Days by Can is one of those albums that sounds a lot more minimalist and came up with their own direction. That is more of like an ambient album. I love that album very much as well. That's my second favorite Can album. If you had to guess, do you have more CDs or vinyl? I say I'm not far off with the CDs being, at the same amount as my records, but I still think that I have more records than CDs. Speaking of my record collection, I would probably do a new overview of my record collection because I have bought a lot more since then. If anyone's up for that, let me know. And also an overview of my CD collection. But my collection of CDs is a bloody mess. CDs over here, CDs over there, some of the back behind that chair, CDs through there. Oop, there. That shoebox set has different digipacks. Yeah. Trying to reposition this phone. Don't fall, please. Yeah, that is a minion next to that small CD shelf. I don't care. CDs all the way, fair enough. I want to do a video comparing Philosophy of the World to Trout Mask Replica. I think it could lead to a very intriguing discussion. Do you think those albums are similar in a way? I think Philosophy of the World is, I think it's different to Trout Mask Replica. Trout Mask Replica is so much more avant-garde, and I mean that album is, off the time, but it's still, to me, is relevant for artistic expression. I think Trout Mask Replica is more difficult to digest for a lot of people. Prefer CDs, cheaper prices. That's understandable. Have you checked out the channel Quest for Metal? He's very knowledgeable. I think that's what you mean. When it comes to heavy metal music, I have checked out some Quest for Metal. He's a pretty cool guy, and I appreciate his own passion for music. Just like with Jamie, now his channel's called Discovery. They are friends with each other. Jamie, an Australian metalhead and album reviewer as well. He's done a lot of videos on various lists, and I always respect him so much too. Yet alone, I've done a review of Deftones' Ohms with him when that came out. So, yeah, there you go. These reviews, are there any albums you'd want on vinyl but are impossible to find for a reasonable price? I mean, when I have bought the Slipknot Volume 3 reissue, that was 45 quid, which took the piss. The impossible ones for me, I think, are the Tony Martin Black Sabbath albums to get for a cheap price. When I bought the original pressings of The Eternal Idol and Tear, they were not cheap. But for cross purposes, it's a lot of money. And Headless Cross is really rare and hard to find. RJ, hot take. Dehumanizer is my favorite Dio era Sabbath album. That album is one of my favorites. And I have done a review. Strong Boys. I have reviewed every Sabbath album. I was going to say, now that I'm going to say it now, I have done a video on Dehumanizer that it was originally going to be involved with Tony Martin. Mindful28, another great metal channel to check out is Metal Trenches. I have seen a few of his videos. He's very opinionated, but in a very honest way. And I do think that his own take on talking about albums to doing his tier making videos of bands' discographies, it's always that direction of him that I like, and I respect his own detail onto his content as much. Like with Discovery, Jamie's channel, and the Metal Meltdown as well. The Metal Meltdown has been one of my favorites. I'm really glad that his channel got up to 10,000 subscribers and his channel got up to 1 million views from all of the videos that he had posted. I forgot to mention, I've been really into Faith No More lately. Yeah, I got into Faith No More about a couple of years ago, or 2019. I always have loved Mr. Bungle for ages, but Faith No More was a band that I always liked, and when I decided to discover them deeply, I fell in love with their Angel Dust album and King for a Day. But Faith No More had been one of my favourite bands after Angel Dust, with that album being on repeat over and over again. So yeah, Faith No More is a great band, but I'm always a Mr. Bungle fan. I love Faith No More as well. It's hard to believe Angel Dust is now 30. Yeah. The same goes with one album that will be celebrating its anniversary next week. This one, Rage Against the Machine's debut album. So, yeah. Hope YouTube won't take this video down because of showing graphic cover art like that. Especially, like, Facebook decides to block their accounts of posting the Houses of the Holy album cover. You know, why? For fuck's sakes. It's just album art. Way too sensitive. Thoughts on the Smashing Pumpkins? I really like the Smashing Pumpkins. I do have Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness on CD. None of them on vinyl yet. Should really dive back into them. Because I have reviewed Sia when that came out. I thought it was a disappointment. I think Siamese Dream is probably going to be my favourite Smashing Pumpkins album. Zach, I haven't checked out Mr. Bungle, but heard of them from people talking about MFKR similars in the funk side of Mayfield Kill Repeat. Oh, yeah, Mayfield Kill Repeat. The thing is, Mayfield Kill Repeat is a genre-varied demo from Slipknot, but these guys are more over the top. So I don't think that Mayfield Kill Repeat is exactly like this. But give it a go. It's worth of a ride. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's similar. I just heard people say about Mr. Bungle and Mayfield Kill Repeat. Yeah. These reviews, what's some of the most experimental music you've heard from the psychedelic movement of the 60s? I mean, obviously, you've got Revolver and Sgt. Pepper's. This one by the Rolling Stones. Experimental, Trout Mask Replica, and see. I'm going to go through some of the collection to answer that question. One of the most experimental. I mean, Trout Mask Replica has to be one of the top ones. Not really sure. We're Only in It for the Money by the Mothers of Invention. Although Lumpy Gravy by Frank Zappa is very off the time with the music concrete. Some of the most experimental music, it's just records like that, to be honest with you. Before art exploded into the best expression to expand it all. So yeah, I'm going to go to the loo, guys, but talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in say like less than a minute. That's not me, that's this fucking chair. That's in pieces, really. Should get a new swivel chair. So BRB, guys. Right, I'm back. Thank you guys for sticking around with me. I agree that Lumpy Gravy might be more avant-garde than We're Only In It For The Money, since it doesn't have that much, really. Lumpy Gravy is just a really dialogue-driven tape effect made record. But at the same time, that's what I really enjoy about it. Because, Lumpy Gravy is one of those unique albums that, some people at that time have tried, with their own influences. But really, Zappa's one of those musicians that decides to take it into another level. Uh, so yeah, I'll have to check out a few new records that have been out this year. Definitely going to be doing my review on Devin Townsend's live work. I'm not sure if I want to do a an album reaction for it though, because I don't want to keep going into new albums for this segment of album reactions. I want to do album reactions of albums that have been requested. If the quality is a little bit flickering, I apologize. And this is a HD phone. I guess for streaming, it doesn't work the same way. Let's hope it just doesn't cut out like the second to last live stream, I think it was. That pissed me right off. Devin Townsend has such a diverse discography. It's hard to choose a favorite album, but I really love Terrier and Infinity. Yeah, I got to love a lot of Infinity. But Terrier is the one that I always put on repeat, as I listened to that album when I went for a walk around the park twice and see the horses and see other views of the park. It is a great record. I mean, it has some of my favorite Devin songs ever on that album. I love Earth Day and Nobody's Here, Tiny Tears, Mountain. What more can I say? Accelerated Evolution and Ocean Machine are more favorites from Devin Townsend. I love both of them. I love Ocean Machine. Bastard is my favorite Devin Townsend song at the moment. Yeah, because I know when I had first heard Bastard, when I was walking outside of my garden, discovering Devin Townsend around the first time during the pandemic, around, I guess, the summertime, when I heard Bastard, that riff, the slow, like, I guess, doomy type of simplicity about it, it sounds it sounds huge. From the just this great distorting tone. I love it. Love that song very much. And speaking of Devin Townsend, I don't know if I said this before, but I'm going to be seeing Devin Townsend in April in Wolverhampton. First time seeing Devin is going to be an experience. I know his shows have been, different things, like the Rentinal Circus to the Order of Magnitude one. He's done acoustic shows, but I really hope that Devin will be playing with his touring band and play a few Strapping Young Lad as well, because that is going to be so fucking cool. Because I've been at sometimes just obsessed with Strapping Young Lad and just Devin Townsend as a whole. So that's going to be an experience, Really happy that I did discover Devin Townsend. I think at the right time, excuse me, because I've heard numerous people talk about Devin, way before I had decided to discover him. When I checked out the City album from Strapping Young Lad, I was like, what the fuck? Because it is one of the greatest metal albums of all time. Maybe my favorite industrial metal album. besides that, Fear Factory has always been another one of my long-time favorite metal bands. You know, Strapping Young Lad is like mad shit that I love. You know, so there you go. All right, so I'm talking for over an hour. So, like I said earlier, guys, I'm going to wrap this up at 9 o'clock. So that's 50 minutes from now, as I pointed at the time on my laptop. But I really appreciate you guys being here as always. If there's anything you want to address or say, um, please address them in the comments. Actually, while I'm here, I thought I might as well get one of my guitars and just to, you know, cut the strings. So again, I'll be right back. So only takes a few seconds. Right, here we go. How are you doing? Still doing good? Sorry, Facebook. All well with you guys? So, I'm gonna be restringing one of the guitars. This is Mick, my first ever Gibson Les Paul in this traditional series. Got a bit of a late 50s neck, and you know, the burst really got my attention to check it out. Feels great, plays great. Excuse me. I am going to be taking this phone with me and place it on this chair. I'm not going to look at the comments on here, because if you guys have said anything whilst I'm going to cut these strings from him, I'm going to have to look at the screen. So, yeah. Yeah, strings are not bad, but, you know, these strings on the higher notes could do with a bit of, you know, could do with a bit of sorting out. I mean, the rust on this has been pretty mad. I use this as a backup, although I would swap my main guitar with this one to do Black Velvet, which is in E flat. Would you say that Gary Moore Les Paul is your main? It always has been my main guitar, or do you not have a main? The Gary Moore signature is my number one guitar, electric guitar, to do my gigs with. Facebook, shut up. Streaming here. Oh, a little bit low. Yeah. Who are your main inspirations as a guitarist? Mindful 28. There's so many. Peter Green, Danny Kirwan, Pete Townsend, Tony Iommi, obviously Jimi Hendrix for me. David Gilmour, to, I say Angus Young, yeah, because I do love some AC/DC. Who else do I love? Oh, what inspirations wise? Mick Taylor from the Rolling Stones, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Let's see. I would say John Squire from the Stone Roses. You know, some just musicians, or guitarists, I should say, like those, because many guitarists hold a big deal for me. With these guys I've just mentioned, they're just like no exception. Um, Sound of Silence. Besides, ow, you fucker. Besides hearing sounds of strings. These strings, they do like to give me a poke. Especially the fucking higher strings. Need to, ow, need to move this then. Get out, you fucking twat. See, this is what many guitarists have to deal with. I would have just gone absolutely ballistic, but not in front of you guys. Oh, come on. This G string is not doing its job to be out. Get the fuck off of my headstock. Get off. Sorry about this, guys. This is such such a big this is such a big dick that I have to this is such a big dick that it's so annoying. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna remove this string the other way round. Oh, I should have thought of that immediately. Yeah. So this is what I have to do whenever I feel that the time is right to swap out to not swap to restring, because I don't want to go through this thing about restringing this these types of guitars after like a string break during a gig. That rarely happens, because the thing is with my choice of doing the strings, I usually tune my guitars after like 4 weeks or a month's work of using the full set of strings, because I do play guitar a lot, and the rust on these strings do get to me, you know, really, really often. Mindful 28, I have to be leaving soon to get ready for work, but this was a fun live stream. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, Greg. Thank you, Mindful 28. Thank you for being here. Much love. Do take care of yourself. All right. So that is that. I mean, restringing is another thing. I'm at the practice of, you know, restringing my own guitars. I already know how to cut the strings off, although I have to remind myself to not change the bridge too much, because if it does, then the feeling of the strings on the fretboard would be different, and my hands wouldn't be as comfortable. Zach, what strings do you use and picks, if you don't mind sharing? I use Ernie Ball size 10 to 46. So that is the string gauge that I have. Just remove this stuff from me. Yeah, yeah. So as you can see, hang on. Let me swap cameras for a bit. Yeah, so the fretboard itself feels pretty decent. I mean, the top of the guitar's okay. It's just that over time, I would have to just cope with like the marks or scratches that are on the pickups. Also have to clean the muck off of these pieces, because some of the muck will get to the overall guitar, which is not what I want. Oh, I've not seen this before. Advanced plating incorporated. Okay, pretty cool. So yeah, let me swap my camera to the other side. Woo, close me. So there you go. Just gonna put this phone back on the blue chair. Hopefully it doesn't mess up anything. Yeah, I am gonna be doing some restringing, maybe post stream. Well, I've said that already. Is the phone moving up? Or maybe it's just I've positioned it weirdly. So yeah, might as well just do this after stream, because I don't want to keep leaving you guys here just to watch me and not say anything, because I don't want to make it awkward. I'll just put Mick to the music room. So be right back, guys. Again, it's like the fourth time. Right, here I am again. Here I am again. Oh, shit. Don't drop from my hands. How am I doing on the battery? Yeah, doing pretty good. The Sparta remixer. What's up? Haven't seen that type of username before. Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. It's just a chat, just a chill out slash like a hangout of talking about music and keeping guys like yourselves connected and interactive as much as possible with whatever we want to say. I will do a requested Sparta remix on Saturday. A remix of what? What is it? I remember when the whole Sparta, like This Is Sparta remixes were like a thing when I joined YouTube in the late 2000s. I'm gonna move these pieces of equipment to one side, so I'll use them for restringing my guitar. Any other soundtrack film scores you love to own in a future update video down the road? Soundtracks, I would love to have the Silence of the Lambs soundtrack, because that is my favorite film of all time. The Godfather, Jaws. I don't have a lot of film soundtracks, to be honest. I'm not sure if Parasite has a soundtrack. Hang on a minute. Let me have a look about this, because soundtracks has been some of my favorite things to listen to. Oh, it is a soundtrack. Okay. the soundtrack to Parasite from 2019. Yeah, I would like to have that. Yeah, because Parasite is such a good film. Anyway, uh, back to this. Um, Sparta Remix on Saturday is going to be called Five Nights at Joe's. I don't want to butcher that. Um, Vitor's Sparta Remix. Lieutenant Delta. Parasite was a great film. It is. It is such a great film. One of my favorites from the last decade. Lieutenant Delta. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome on in. This is really a music related YouTube channel, and we just talk about anything to do with music on bands, albums, records, to topics, genres, stuff like that. And that's basically all that there is to it for this type of thing. Um, oh, sorry, Zach. I just reminded myself about the guitar picks thing. This is the guitar pick that I use. Actually, there's a bag, although I've removed the tag. Yeah, I got a few picks here. But this is the uh Jazz 3 XL series from Dunlop. Yeah, they're Jim Dunlop picks. Can't really see that very well, but always love these picks. I like your content. I've been subscribed for a while now. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. What I remember most were your drum covers. I am a drummer myself. How did I not think about that? So you know me since at that time. When I used to do covers, it was fun, but then YouTube decides to be complete dicks by copyright claiming my stuff. So that's the thing that I had to stop, which is very unfortunate. But I'm really glad that you remembered that. I still have the same drum kit. It's in my music room. I use similar picks. I use the Jazz 3 Max Grip. That's cool. That's cool. What about your string gauge, Zach? Because I always use Ernie Ball. Although I did try with Diodario. They're pretty good. But I think Ernie Ball's just always my favorite because of the comfortability and just the overall feel. To me, it has the best control for my picking action and the fretting hand. So, yeah. New album reviews wise, I'm not really sure what I am going to be reviewing next. Yet alone that I did mention Devin Townsend, but I think I would like to come back to review albums in the other segments. Also, for Classic Albums Revisited, I'm going to be reviewing the Slowdive album, Sovlaki, which is one of my favorite albums of all time, not only in the 90s or of shoegaze, but of all time. I'm a big fan of the genre myself as well. See you soon, brother. Take care, man. Okay, much love to White Tiger. Nip, thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, guys, I've mentioned about White Tiger earlier on. Go and check out their new album, their debut album, This Is the Life. Do it right now. They're on social media. They have a YouTube channel. Give them a follow on their Instagram. Like them on Facebook. Just do that kind of stuff because it does mean a lot to promote and share stuff from bands, and give White Tiger the appreciation. I use the same as you actually. Okay, I was using nines for all 5 years. I have been playing, but I tried tens and they worked. Yeah, I used to work on size 9 strings. They're really thin and slinky. But my regular slinky size 10 strings from Ernie Ball, they are one of my favorite. Excuse me. Oh dear. Um, so I think I am going to be doing um maybe some guitar demonstration videos with the view of my pedal board. Um, and I will be doing, I've mentioned this earlier, I will be doing a video on my personal addressing about 22. I say not around the same time as my last one. I want to do it around close to mid-November time. Um, Evil X Skies, how's it going? Have you ever looked into Lovers by Nimbus? No, I have not. I have not listened to a single thing from that band. Zach, I would really enjoy your guitar content on this channel. Yeah, because I love watching videos from people like That Pedal Show to CC Bass, Andertons, Rabia Massad, Rob Chapman. You know, I always really appreciate those types of videos. Rob Scallon as well. Love a lot of his stuff too. But yeah, I will have to do what I can to make different quality like that, because I know that doing guitar and pedal videos have been a really big thing on the internet, and that really has got to be something new that I would like to do. Yeah, that could be a new thing. I'm interested, actually. I would like to do it. Anyways, guys, half an hour left until I will wrap this up. But once again, thank you so much for coming here to the stream. And it's always been a blast. Just going to have a look at a few notifications real quick. From other social media for Hard Graft. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to be a bit sidetracked because, you know, being in a band with some business going, it's going very productive. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Speaking of Alter Bridge, by the way, I am going to be seeing Alter Bridge on my last day of my 27th, the 5th of December. Now, for those of you that may know or may not know, maybe most of you don't, I went to see Blackstone Cherry at, I think it was, it is in Birmingham. I think it's the NIA. I believe 2010, maybe. But they were supporting Alter Bridge. But I was not familiar with Alter Bridge. And this is going to be a bit of a dick thing that I wanted to say. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. But I was 15, I think. After I've seen Blackstone Cherry's set, I decided to come back home. So I did not have the interest to see Alter Bridge. I know that is so bad of me. But now that I am going to be seeing Alter Bridge, it will be properly the first time to see Alter Bridge. Yes, so I had to let that out. It was really dumb of me. But I'm so pleased that I am going to be seeing Alter Bridge. I'll see what it's like. I did see Incubus a few months ago recently as well, and I became a new fan of them too. I fell in love even more with their Morning View album. That is probably my favorite Incubus album. Make Yourself is really good. Science is very good too, but Morning View was the one that really got me into the band. Bless you, brother. Catch up soon. Same to you, Nip, and White Tiger as a whole. Much love to you guys. Um, what do you think about BC Rich Warlocks? I do like the look of them, but I wouldn't want to own a BC Rich. Yeah, the BC Rich has been one of my first favorites in metal guitars, but it's not one of those guitars that I personally would buy and play on repeat. Play on repeat. Shut up, phone. Um, and it also depends on the comfortability. I found them from Mick Thompson in the 2000s. Yeah, I think it's around that time that I first looked at a BC Rich. Besides with Rob Flynn from Machine Head, uh, Nimbus is my old band from Boston. We broke up after I graduated and they only put out one song. Just wondering what your opinion on us would be. I have not heard, like I said, I've not heard about it. But if you really want me to check it out, I would like to. But if your band does involve like the whole contract thing or like copyright material, then I don't want to risk it. Well, um, you said you broke up after you graduated. Only put out one song. Well, I guess it wouldn't be that bad. Um, but yeah, so yeah, fuck it. Forget about that whole copyright bullshit. So, yeah, Nimbus. I haven't heard anything from that type of band. What genre are you guys? I mean, were you guys really? But anyways, guys, I I really enjoy doing these types of videos, and I'm glad that I am here to do another one. So, in terms of my next live stream, I want to I want to do one around December time. Progressive metal, okay. Progressive metal is one of my favorite genres of music, and my favorite progressive metal band is Mastodon. Big fan, huge fan of Mastodon. And this is one of my top 10 albums of all time. So, what is the track? What's the track called? Evil X Skies. Do you have a YouTube video of it? Because if you do, um, me and the rest of the viewers could listen to it. Um, but if you are all right with it, you don't have to let me do it. Just saying. So I'm going to be streaming on YouTube um, around, say, besides I've got a few gigs in that month, I would probably like to stream before uh, before Christmas Day. Not really sure about the actual date, the right time for it. But I will let you know. Lovers, okay, it's on YouTube/Spotify. So Nimbus Lovers. Um, Okay, so Nimbus Lovers, 2 years ago it's uploaded. Is that the right one? Is that the right one? Because I want to check this out and play it. And the rest of you guys can join with me if you want to. Ooh, bit of a shaky laptop lid. So yeah, let me know. Okay, yes, it is. Just gonna mute my live stream. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. We are gonna be listening to the one song from Nimbus, and this is obviously not planned, but we are gonna listen to it together. Okay, and let's give Evil X Skies some attention. Well, from his time being in Nimbus. Let's have a listen. Right. Very good drumming beats, impressive vocals. I do like the guitar work. It's drop A tuning. Very nice clean guitars. Do you know what? I think that this band could have had the potential to have, a big, big future. I think that was a shame that you broke up because there are some really good stuff on the skills. Really solid song. And I like that expansion on these quite like fusiony, arpeggio driven lead styles. And this has to be attention driven. I wish that Nimbus would have continued on because there are some really, really impressive stuff on here. We all attended a Berklee College of Music at this time, and I was the set player of this. Okay. Well, nonetheless, if there were any talks about like a reunion, well, just to get back together, please continue to make music because this is really solid and great guitar lines, vocals as well. I like that interaction of cleans to distorting growls combining together. So glad that I did do that for you. Excuse me, Evil X Skies. So, yeah, check it out, guys. Nimbus Lovers. The video that was posted on their YouTube channel. The channel is just the band's name, and it could have been something big. Could be something big. Yeah. So, nonetheless, it's a very good track. Cheers for that, Evil X Skies. I appreciate it. And with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up in 10 minutes. So if any of you guys want to address anything in the comments, please address them. Thank you, made my day at work, but I have to get back to work now. And thank you once again. No worries, Evil X Skies. Thank you for popping in to my live stream. And it's just the least I can do. Thank you to others who have been here as well. To Lieutenant Delta, White Tiger, Zach Hurley, These Reviews, Ryan, RJCJ Rock, Mindful 28, and Billy Bishop. Yeah, see, you're getting comments. You're getting comments, Evil Skies. Zach really liked it. The track was awesome. Yeah, it is. Alright. I have no clue what my next video would be. I think I'm going to be posting my video of my experience and to talk about the Pink Floyd Animals 2018 remix. Because I actually did make a video around that time when Fossora came out. I was going through a cold and just didn't have a lot of energy. But I just decided to do that video, and I didn't tell you guys about it until now. Would love it if you guys made an EP at the time rather than a single. Yeah, it's a shame that Nimbus have broken up after, graduation. because these guys could have been going somewhere. Yeah, so I'm going to put that one up on my channel next. Then I'll do Classic Albums Revisited, of Freedom by Neil Young. I'm still going to be listening to various albums, because I've said that I've played all of Quadrophenia on vinyl and Magma from Gojira. I think the next one would maybe be Rollo Tomasi's When Myth Becomes Memory. I'm going to play and revisit that album because that is one of my other favorites of 2022. Also, another thing, I just want to say thank you so much to new subscribers for coming onto my channel and to click subscribe. There's always these new faces that like what I do, and I am also glad that I did my review on Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, because, that album was my very first time of reviewing a hip-hop record. And it's been one of my favorite genres, although not all of it, especially a lot of it today, has been great. Because it's very rare for me to like a lot of hip-hop. And it really depends on to the artist and the style. Yeah, I would like to also review this album from Alcest, their second album, because I love this album. This is, to me, Alcest at their finest peak. I've mentioned this album previously. Glare. Mentioned this album previously on my favorite albums of the decade video. I'm going to be doing another one because there are some that I've missed out, forgot to talk about. But this one here is absolutely one of my top 10 of the decade. This was through Prophecy Records' 2010 release, and this cover art is also beautiful. Always a favorite for me. And it does mix with the music very well. Which other albums I've been playing? Some Machine Head recently. I've been repeating The Burning Red, to revisiting Hell Alive, The More Things Change, The Blackening as well, which to me, that is another metal classic for the 2000s of metal. And I think that one has aged so well. Like with Onto the Locust that I have. Yeah, I did buy Catharsis. For those of you who have seen one of my update videos, I'm going to be buying Supercharger. Fuck it. I'm going to own every Machine Head album. Because, I was reluctant to even buy Catharsis because of the reception and the mixed reactions. And Supercharger, personally, one of my least favorite Machine Head albums, but I love the Hell Alive album, and there are some pretty cool stuff on there. So, yeah, there you go. But I'll have to revisit some of my favorite albums from the last 10 years and talk about them. And I would say that the 2010s has been, such a great decade for music. I will have to listen to some new albums that have come out this year that I have bought that I've not listened to yet. And I have listened to so many albums from 22 that I think my lists are done. Not done, but like done in my head onto the disappointments / the worst and the favorites. Have you got the original pressing of Slipknot's self-titled? Sorry. With Frail in Nursery and Purity. Yes, I have. I have the original track listing right here. That's Mick's signature, by the way. There it is. with the controversial topics of tracks. Well, not topics, selections of songs. I wish that this fucking phone would have focused better than that. But anyways, yeah. And with Slipknot's name on the spine there. Ooh, glaring. One of my favourite metal debuts of all time, if not my favourite. I have bought some more Slipknot stuff for the collection, but I'm not sure if I want to do a new overview of my Slipknot collection, because I have bought some more that, you know, I don't want to lose track. What is your favorite member of Slipknot? It used to be Chris when I was younger, but I think my favorite member, I mean, I love them all. Joey has to be one of them. I think Mick's one of my favorites as well. But I think my favorite would either be either Joey or Mick or Jim. Yeah, because Jim's one of my faves. Mick is your favorite, which is great. So I think I'm going to wrap this up here, guys, because it's getting close to the hour of 9 o'clock. Thank you very much, as always, for popping into the streams. And I am going to be doing the content of stuff that interests a lot of people, as most of my videos do. There's going to be a bit of a change up for my videos. Thankfully, it's not going to be a really drastic one. There's some stuff that I want to address in my addressing video, as I said that a few times now. Zach, okay, thank you for the stream. Have an amazing gig, Greg. Thank you so much. Keep rocking. Thank you very much, Zach, for tuning in, as well as the rest of you guys who have popped in. I will be doing some more album reviews, and keep requesting on albums you want me to react to. Send a comment on one of my videos, or just any video that I do, and I'll do my best to make them happen, because I have a few comments from people that they want to see me react to this or that and review them. Excuse me. But yeah, so my Pink Floyd 2018 remix Thoughts video will be up. Freedom by Neil Young for Classic Albums Revisited. And also Don't Believe the Truth by Oasis, since that I am nearly finished with their discography. I need to review All Hope Is Gone for Slipknot by Slipknot for the dedication to Joey series, because, you know, it has been something that I want to do for some time now, and as well as you know, to continue to build myself so much in my positive mental attitude. So anyways, much love to all of you. You are amazing. Do look after yourselves. Be supportive for one another. Have a great amount of positivity. We are always going through difficult times, but hang in there. Hang in there. You are special, and do stay at your best ways mentally, emotionally, and productively as possible. Right? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos and streams in the near future.